Hello, howdy, and hallelujah. It is December. We're about 50 weeks into the year, which only means we have about 2 weeks left. And today is Monday, Market 15. The 15-minute show takes about 30 minutes. Here with me, as always, the beautiful, the wonderful, the exquisite, the exciting, and many more adjectives after that, Miss Ashley Miller. Yeah, she's back here.
Everyone.
She is
Happy
back.
Monday,
Back in action.
December 13th. Holy
Oh, God,
We're like
yes.
halfway through the month.
There it goes. The end of the song.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're here every Monday talking about the Phoenix housing market. We're here local. We don't talk about national news. We tell you about the things that are going on here in Phoenix alone. Well, maybe the surrounding areas, but
we talk about other states.
Morristown, whatever.
That's
Close enough.
still
That's like
Arizona.
a pigeons fly or rocks that are away from Phoenix. But
Did you guys hear recently the top of Mummy Mountain got bought?
Mummy Mountain?
Mummy Mountain.
I don't even know what that is.
Google that. Google that.
Do I have to Google it? Well, tell me about it.
I don't know much about it. I just heard, and we don't know what that's going to look like because they don't have wells, they don't have electricity, and it's I think it's one of like the largest purchases.
You tell me this now when we go on.
Sorry, things come to my head. Like sometimes
I didn't even prepare for Mummy
when
Mountain.
we go online, like sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, Mummy Mountain in Arizona.
I don't even know where that's at.
Mummy Mountain, Arizona.
Oh, sold for 6.9. Hold on, let me put this.
Yeah,
up.
sold. It was like for.
Oh, you're in the way. Sold for 6.9 million.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. See,
Oh,
that's
it's for sale. No, it's for sale.
No, it actually sold. So this hasn't updated yet. It did sell. So because we are in real estate, and I happened to get the information apparently prior to you, that has no indication of Robert's business. It just happens to be that I have a friend that they do a lot of land up there, and they were like, "Hey, Ashley, did you know?"
What's the special thing about Mummy Mountain? Is that like Makeout Mountain or something?
I don't know.
So where all the kids go to
Mummy Mountain.
have fun
Like,
when parents aren't around?
Well, it used to be like Lookout Mountain, like back in the day when like you would ride it and like you'd have some music on, you'd go up there and like. Anyway.
No, I don't.
So,
anyway, we're back here on a Monday. Let me get back here.
No, but there's some really cool places right now that I have noticed that have been selling. Lots of land. I've noticed more land deals than I've ever seen before.
You know why that is, right?
Random places, like random. Not Morristown, but...
What my belief is, and I was going to get to this later in the show, but what I truly believe is kind of that wave of real estate, whether it's land or homes. Real estate tends to be very stable environment in regards to inflation. And so you see people pulling out of stocks. Like normally you would see in an environment that's very volatile, like we're in stocks, people go to gold. People go to like commodities because they're more stable. And people need them. You need oil to fuel your car. You need electricity. You need gold. And basically everything, every kind of manufactured thing we do. We need metals. And so when you don't see a lot of people going to that, people for a while there were thinking Bitcoin was that kind of hedge for inflation.
Yep.
Now they're heading to real estate. And that is very evident in what we're seeing today. We're seeing lots of homes being sold and people moving their money over to real estate. And it's not going down. It's not going anywhere.
So there's a very interesting thing. I know. You always get me on a tangent. So I love country music. And
Country Thunder?
I love Country Thunder as well. And but there is a particular song that's like you can't buy like land. Like land is land. Once you own it, you own it. It's not going anywhere.
Sounds like a country song.
It is a country song.
Once you buy land, it's a... No?
No, keep going.
I don't know. I don't know the song.
It's a great song.
I just made shit up as we were talking because that's kind of what we do. But
land, so it'll never go away, right? So think about the property off of Tatum and Bell Road. The original Bell Road, not Frank Lloyd Wright. So the original Bell Road going down Tatum, where D.R. Horton bought that entire parcel right there. There used to be cows on there when I grew up.
You mean the one by the Mayo Clinic, kind of that area?
Yeah, a little bit more south. Was it sold for $85 million?
Yeah.
And it was to the great grandson because the grandmother owned it. It was farmland back in the day. You can't go wrong with land.
Yeah, I mean, new builds are on the low end. I mean, they're having trouble making them right now. And so I definitely think there's a lot of room. I think it was either Realtor.com or National Association of Realtors that basically said we're about 4 million homes behind where we should be right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, think about Arizona. Like, okay, so we're in the valley, right? Phoenix, and then we have our surrounding areas. And what's becoming most popular? We have Santan Valley, and then what's further than that?
Florence.
Then let's go.
Yeah,
out
I don't
west.
know who's going to the Florence, but
Buckeye,
there's people moving out there.
We have now the new 303 West Buckeye, and there's continuing. It just keeps going further and further. And then think about going.
Maybe in California by the time.
I know we will be. We will be. So buy land. I'm finding this song.
Buy land.
You need to buy land. I even got my cowboy boots on. Hold on.
Oh shit.
Can I do this?
I don't know. Are you? Oh, there we go. She's revealing way too much of herself.
Oh, there we go. Buy some
land. Hold on a second.
And actually wear them. Like they're legit.
Yeah, hold the junk back there. Hold that trunk back. But
no, but it is. So I know it's a little bit off kilter of what we're talking about, but
yes,
with the holidays and when we're making a decision on what we're going to do. So making a decision to purchase a home, in my opinion, this is a great time to search for properties.
Yeah, I mean, there's every indication, again, we've talked about this in the last few weeks, that home prices are going up. I mean, everything I was hoping, I think everybody was hoping for just, this pullback in the market, flood of houses, all these things that were going to happen, and it was going to be a buyer's market again. But, the thing with that, I'll pull it up real quick since we're talking about it. We're talking out of order, by the way, but
so out of order.
Let me get my face out of the way, and let me get your face over here because that needs to be right there. So if you look in terms of pricing, the housing supply. So I was pointing this out to Ashley as we were getting ready for the show today. If you notice in this trend, you'll see these spikes. January 15, you got January 16, you got January 17. You got January of 18 and January of 19. So all these are basically spikes that are surplus or I should say new listings into the market. And you have an immediate drop off. This is the normal selling cycle. You see things kind of fall and kind of bellow out around June. And you see that pretty consistent year over year over year. But as you get into the last 2 years, especially this year, there is no spike. There is no inventory. There is no indication that we're going to get a flood of inventory because this is the time of year which is where inventory picks up. And guess what? We're flatlined. I mean, last week we were at 0.8 months supply. Now we're at a 0.7. So we're heading into a worse market as far as buying goes.
Oh, I don't like the word worse.
Huh? You don't like it?
Change.
There's a change. So knowing this, I mean, part of right now, if you're looking at buying in the next 6 months, is really seeing if you can buy right now, because as soon as January comes, I will tell you the prices are going to skyrocket just because of supply.
And interest rates as well.
Interest rates, I think it's going to surge more in the middle of next year, but right now, between now and by the time that interest rate increases, definitely now should be that consideration of like, okay, I probably should buy, because rental rates are following like the housing prices right now. They're just extremely high.
My consensus is, my friends,
is please tell us, Ms. Miller,
that we're all so eager to jump on this buying process.
Yep.
Right? Buy. We want to expand. We're having more kids, or we're thinking about having more kids. Wink, wink.
Don't tell Violet.
Are getting married on Saturday.
That's not part of the show.
Anyway, Robert's getting married to Violet on Saturday. Yay. But the point is that if you can stay where you are and you're not busting at the seams, like do some hemming. I mean, do some purging and buy land, buy dirt. The country song right here, it says, I know, I love country music. So you can't buy happiness, but you can buy dirt. And you can. And you could do that. You can help them buy the dirt. Because in the future, we always want to create, so buying real estate to me is creating a foundation for our family and for our future family. And if we can't afford to physically buy the brick and mortar, then, or the sticks and stones, or, there's so many different definitions we use, friggin' stay where you are and buy dirt.
I don't have $7 million to buy Mummy Mountain, though.
No, well, we're not talking about Mummy Mountain, but I believe that if we do a little recon, then we can find those little parcels, kind of like the little parcels that are in, up in North Phoenix, or there's a lot of spaces. Do you think the person who owned Mummy Mountain, or how they dropped it from generation to generation, like, let's create legacies here, man. Like, let's just buy freaking dirt. You can sell dirt all day long, right? It's probably the easiest sale you'll make.
Yeah, I actually do have land in Vernon that's up for sale right now. So anybody wants to buy a house in Vernon or land in Vernon.
What is the latitude and longitude of Vernon?
I'm not that good. I might be good. I'm not that good. But no, I have 2 pieces of land up in Vernon, both 1 acre.
But
they
Vernon
both have,
is where though?
If you go to Sholo,
Run Sholo.
or on the way to Pine Top, it's kind of that middle area, a little bit further. It's almost on the New Mexico border.
Yeah.
So those are on market for like I think one is at 39, the other one at 35.
We would be ignorant to think that Arizona and New Mexico are not going to touch at one point. It's kind of like
they do, technically.
I mean, but what I'm saying is like think about the East Coast, right? So on the East Coast, you can live in New York but work in New Jersey, or live in New Jersey and work in Connecticut, because it's the borders. This is going to happen. Arizona is going to finally connect. Like we're going to go down. We're going to go up. We're going to go left, right. So California, we've got, New Mexico. They're going to combine at one point. So if you have the extra few dollars, stay in your house. Suck it up, buttercup. Like, get some extra cabinets. Like, consolidate. Like, organized.
This isn't an opinion.
This is totally opinion. Take that extra money and buy a piece of land from Robert, which is on the borderline.
It is actually pretty nice out there.
And then you can pay him like 10 years from now. Or 20 years from now.
Yeah, just pay me the dividends.
The dividends, right? Exactly.
So thanks very much, Ashley. Everybody's chiming in about the wedding and not about the market. So,
I know the wedding.
Gabby said, can't wait for the wedding. Paula said, very happy for you. But Gabby did have a question. She said, what do you think would be a good idea to purchase, to sell, or to rent? Do you think it would be a good idea to purchase, to sell, or to rent? Well, I mean, depends on what you want to do. And in this environment right now, if you're renting, it doesn't make sense to rent. I mean, that's my opinion. You should really explore if you can, or at least pursue into purchasing. Just the rental market is increasing, and it's unfortunate. I mean, stuff that was on market for rent at $1,200 about a year ago is up for rent now about $1,600 to $1,700. So your mortgage rate will typically be way less than that. The hard part about purchasing is you're going to be facing a competitive environment. So if you have a good agent, especially since I have a listing coming up near where you live, Gabby, hint, hint. If you're interested in the market, right there in Alma School and Southern, I got something at $275, a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath coming up.
Super cute too.
Yeah, I'm finishing the listing today. That'll be coming up on market if you guys want to put in for that. But to sell, it depends on what you want to do for selling. So if you're if you're thinking about selling, this is really the peak, and potentially there could be some more room for gains next year.
Yeah. There's definitely room.
Which is where I think things are going to go. If you want to hold out and wait, it's going to take a major event or something that's going to really kind of halt things. That could be another cough. Since the new variant is out there, that could be some. I don't know. But I definitely feel that investors are parking their money more towards homes versus stocks. No,
for sure. And one of the things you had mentioned about renting. So to me, renting, I've said that a million times, is renting is 100% investment in somebody else's future. So why would you not, based on what you said, if rentals have gone up from like 1,200 to last year to what, I forgive me, I think you said, you gave a percentage, but I'm assuming like 1,200, 800. There's a flux between 400 and almost like $700 with rentals. So why would you not invest in yourself 100%? Why are you spending 100% of your investment on your money into somebody else's property? Why don't you invest and then go rent your property out and go live on a beach in Costa Rica? I don't know.
That's always a potential too. And I think the first of it is I think people are scared. One. So exploring that with a good lender, calling us, we can kind of navigate you through some of that stuff. But not exploring it, I think, is probably a shame on you kind of thing. Not trying to see what your situation is and trying to modify that or at least help it.
I don't recall if I had mentioned this before, but about credit. So somebody had mentioned to me like, oh, I only have a 710. I'm sorry. Do you guys not know, and I'm not a lender, nor can I give you advice, but if you have a 710, you don't need to be fearful. If you have a 680, you don't need to be fearful. If you have a 620, you don't need to be fearful. No. Even down to what? It's like a 580 that they can do it as long as their DTI, your debt to income makes sense. Again, I'm not a lender, but if your credit score is making you fearful for purchasing a home, I think 1 + 1 always equals 2, right? So you get to purchase a home, even if you do have a lower credit score, and don't be ashamed of it, because the credit scores it's ebbs and flows constantly.
Yeah.
But renting a home, you have to put the down payment down.
Yeah.
First month, last month, security deposit, That's literally a down payment for a house.
And if you lenders, anybody that's out there that does lending, can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Fannie and Freddie actually give a bottom or a score regarding if a person qualifies or not. I think it's the lending company or the broker that does that. And again, if a lender's out there that can correct me, I don't think there's anything in Fannie or Freddie that says this has to be a minimum credit score. It's the lenders that do that.
And there's a caveat in it. Yeah. So like if you have a lower score but you have less debt, from my understanding, that's going to be a little bit different than somebody who might have a higher score but a lot of debt. Yeah. So it's a delicate balance. So don't ever think if you have a lower score that you might not be able to purchase. So again, don't put 100% of your investment into somebody else. It's not worth it. No. It's worth it to reach out to Robert and to one of the lenders that we associate with and find out what you want to do, or just go buy dirt.
We just want you to be happy. At the end of the day, Ashley and I just want your happiness.
No, for sure.
But as the second half of the show comes on, we did have some slides to go over, which we'll talk about. I did want to point this out. Let me go back here. We follow this every week, and it's the demand index. It's not going away. Demand, if anything, is just high. It's not going anywhere. It's December, and we should be calming down a little bit, but no, it's still a little aggressive out there. Also, too, I found this very interesting. The average sales price in Maricopa County is boom right there at $540, and if you look at the trajectory, let me take out.
Oh yeah, good. Go back.
I got to do Maricopa only. This thing kind of like fluctuates a little bit, but if you go strictly to Maricopa, again, it's at that 540, 545 price. And if you notice pricing in Phoenix or Maricopa County, where do you think pricing's going? I mean, just looking at the line. Miss Miller, where do you think that pricing is going?
It's so going down. Just kidding. No, shit. I mean, sorry. When I say it's going down, like it's going down. This is increasing. We cannot sit back. I have so many people call me all the time, and I'm just entitled. When I say I'm just entitled, I'm not discrediting myself because I am knowledgeable. Yep. However, I do not have the certificates or the credibility or license to say like this is exactly how it's going to be. Yep. But at the end of the day, like it is going down. Like get your act together and either buy a house, buy some dirt, figure it out. Stop investing in somebody else 100%. Like this right here. I mean,
this is
look
the
at
median
it.
Price.
Like we can see it. Like if you can see my hands, I'm watching it. It's going up. Even like a month ago, we were 339. Like it just is continuing to go up. And if you do own a home, fabulous. You know what you should do right now? Call your lender. Call one of our lenders. See what your interest rate is. Yep. See if you can drop your MI or your PMI, mortgage insurance, private mortgage insurance. And you may be able to take your loan with your, you have to have at least 20% of your debt to, or I'm sorry, your LTV loan to value.
Loan to value.
So 20% loan to value, and that would include closing costs and all of that. Yep. You could probably drop your PMI in, some people, mine's like 221. But I know my house has increased. In January, I'm going to refinance. I'm going to drop my PMI. I'm going to drop my interest rate down. My payment will pretty much be, I want to take some cash. I'll be the same. So start investigating. Start doing some recon because these numbers are phenomenal.
Yeah. And again, we're not financial planners, financial advisors at all. We're just here to provide information. So if you want to reach out to one of us, any of us, somebody you trust even, I think the best situations for you to find what's best for you. And I think if you're in a rental situation, it may be time to kind of explore out of that. Because the way prices are increasing, if you're holding out for a major dip next year, I don't see it unless there's some sort of government intervention again. And that intervention could be rising interest rates.
What have we seen about government intervention? And not that we are political people by any means, anyway. But we really haven't seen any major change. As they keep announcing. All I see is the land values going up, and interest rates slowly increasing.
Well, what I see is everything is going up. Gas prices, food prices. We went to I went to the grocery store today. It was like $50. I only bought 4 things.
Well, that's your problem. You don't coupon, clearly.
I'm not a Groupon couponer. That's just what I do. But I think a lot of people realize that, and they're parking their money in places where it's safe. They don't want to be spending these high prices. They want to invest what they have invested in something that's more secure.
Well, what do you consider safe, though?
Real estate.
Exactly.
Physical gold, not paper gold.
No, right. So we talk about a lot of Bitcoin and gold and all this stock market and all this, and it's fabulous. I have money in there too. Yep. I will always convert back to the original thing I've said since day one. Buy land, buy dirt. I don't care if it has tumbleweeds and it will pay off, especially the way that we're going. Yeah. The how we're expanding. Arizona's expanding. Yeah. We're not gonna stop. Like we're not going up. We're going out, man. We're going out.
Yeah. Lindsay says super aggressive. I think Sherry, do you mean Ashley or do you mean the housing market?
Both. I'm not. I'm
very
being aggressive, but I'm passionate about it because I wish I would have listened to people 5 years ago. I wish I would have taken the money that I had instead of putting the money I had in my house and just bought some dirt or land and lived in like a janky kitchen. Yeah. Because now that land would have made more money. And I would have been able to still do what I wanted with my kitchen. I just would have been patient. So patience is a virtue. Do you want to buy a home? Yeah. Which you should right now. Like, honestly, if you don't, you're going to kick yourself. Like, I got some boots on. Like, you're going to kick yourself.
Yeah, I think again, people's biggest fear is like, hey, am I going to make the payment? But the funny thing is when people are renting, they're making the payment anyway.
100% investment.
And then the other fear is like it's like a relationship. It's like getting married.
It's a commitment.
You get into a long-term commitment. You're like, holy shit, I'm getting into a long-term commitment. Should I stay out of? Oh, there she goes. We're not going to talk about Ashley's long-term commitments, but we're going to air mine apparently. So
that's because you're getting married, silly goose.
Oh boy. Anyway, so going back to the article that we wanted to share. This came out about 2 days ago, or yesterday, I should say. Your face is in the way. So here come the housing prices headed in 2022, according to the experts. So in this article, if you read it, the highlights that I wanted to point out is interest rates are still around 3%. And if you're looking for a bottom regarding prices, I would really reflect on interest rate because prices may go up, but the interest rate will definitely go up for sure. And that's going to really disqualify you if you're right on that kind of teetering on the line regarding your qualifications. Right now would be a good environment to explore that. Not necessarily to go, Ashley says go buy a house, but at least the first step is to explore whether or not that's an option for you. And of course, sometimes situations don't, require that, which forces you back to rent. But again, the shame on you is more of like not pursuing that. At least trying to figure out at least how to modify that or at least change your situation so that you could potentially qualify.
Well, doing the recon, I think is the most important thing. So if you look up the stats, like, yes, with Zillow, like haltering, like what they're doing, they're backing down a little bit. iBuyers are kind of becoming a little bit more stable. That gives new home buyers or existing home buyers or, whatever your situation is, a little bit more flexibility. So just exploring it. Like you would be really, really surprised you might not find the perfect home, but you're going to find a home. Yeah. And that's the most important thing to me because there's a difference. I always say, there's a difference between a house and a home. Your home is you're building it, you're establishing it, and you can leave it. You can leave a legacy.
The funny thing is, a year ago, I was helping out a girl, and I won't mention her name because she doesn't really. I don't know. She may not be mentioned. But anyway, about a year ago, she was so scared about buying a home. We had talked and had many conversations regarding like her saving her money. And, one of the things in life is to buy a home. And that's the reassurance I kept giving her is like, this is a lengthy process. It's a little scary. There's a lot of sheets of paper you have to sign. And, a year later, she emails me and said, hey, thank you for everything you did. I'm super excited. This is their first Christmas. They moved in January, and so now it's coming to about a year, and it's an amazing feat, and she's no longer scared anymore. Yeah. I told her it's a lot of paper, but until you miss a payment, that doesn't even apply. So if you're making your payments, there's really nothing you even notice.
It does eliminate a little bit of fear because it creates control. Because now you're in control, like this is your home, and it almost creates that like self of like that pride, accomplishment. Yeah. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's pretty powerful. They say there's 3 monumental moments in your life, right? So you get married, you buy.
was really uplifting
you get
for
married,
me.
you buy a home, and you have a baby. I mean, hopefully
we'll
divorce
see.
doesn't come with it because that is different. But divorce is pretty cheap from what I heard. I've never been married or divorced, but hopefully never to be divorced. But I guess I can't be because I'm not married. So there's that. But there's something prideful, and it's not. It is scary, but it's like, it's rewarding. It's really, really rewarding. And
no, I do remember the first time I bought my condo after the divorce, and the divorce was like, whatever.
We're not talking about that.
Yeah. We're starting a new life this Saturday. No, but right after that part in my life, the first thing I bought was a condo, and I remember buying it, signing it, and then getting the keys that day, and going to my new condo, which was my new home, and I just laid on the floor, and it was so nice just to lay on the floor. A little emotional. Let's see if I cried. I might have cried. I don't remember. I did cry when I bought my car after my divorce, but that's a whole other thing. So no, laying down on that carpet, looking up in my master bedroom, it was mine. It was just this wow, I've really made it. Past all the BS. I really made it again, and I feel back to feeling like myself. And the emotions of it are very significant. Anytime you buy it, that's something that is yours and yours alone.
Well, that's what I said. The 3 monumental moments when you get married, like that person is yours. That's a commitment. They're yours.
Yeah.
Like not in a territory way, but they're yours. Like they're your love. Like, and then you buy a house, it's yours.
Yeah.
Like you did it, you accomplished it, and then you have a baby. Like obviously, like you created it. So those are very powerful moments in your life, and there shouldn't be any scarcity about buying a home. It's just making sure you're prepared, and you can never be prepared for any of those 3 scenarios by any means.
No.
And it doesn't matter which order you make them in or you do them in, obviously, because I've done everything ass backwards in my life. But that satisfaction, like the laying on the ground and like looking at the ceiling and being like, shit, that ceiling fan's mine. I'm probably going to need to replace it next year. Like,
that was some of it too. I was like, I got to replace this carpet.
But that ceiling fan is yours, and you get to replace it with whatever ceiling fan you want because it's yours. And you get to make that decision.
Tremendous sense of pride with that. I did want to go back to the article. We're on about 2 minutes left, Miss Miller.
Yep.
Talking about this article again, it's talking about Phoenix home prices, where they're headed in 2022. Fannie Mae is predicting a 7.4 appreciation in 2022. National Association of Realtors is looking at about a 2.8 appreciation and about a 4.4 for new homes. So 2.8 for existing, 4.4 appreciation for new homes. So the prices aren't going down. I mean, and they do identify these are in major markets. I gotta scroll up. Ashley's touching the screen, which just does nothing.
No, it does nothing
for her.
The new homes is very interesting.
Where am I going?
Well, you done some of the stats, but the new homes is very intriguing to me because new homes obviously like those are in a different they're on a different timeline than the existing home. So the depreciation can really vary depending on when they're kind of done.
Well, because like when people buy existing homes, typically they don't do a whole lot of upgrades. When you buy a new home, usually stuff was still new, relatively speaking. So there's not many, typical average home ownership ranges between 5 to 7 years.
Well, and how are they predicting like the 4.4 appreciation for new homes? Because obviously building material and everything that's going on. So I don't know how much I believe that stat. Not that I disbelieve, because I'm not a disbeliever. I'm just curious of where that stat came from. And I get the 2.8% appreciation for existing homes. That's pretty Captain Obvious.
That's normal appreciation, which gives us indication that we're heading into a normal market cycle.
So I would like to take the 4.4 and the 2.8, add them together, and that what I would think would be for the appreciation. I know it says 7.4, but if we're taking 2.8 for existing homes and 4.4 for new homes, I mean,
I think the biggest learning, the biggest takeaway from this article is that prices aren't going down.
They're not. No, they're not going down. No. So I guess my point is we can read these stats and they don't always add up, but know that this is not stopping. Like we're not stopping.
So and then the last article that I wanted to point out to was this one. It's kind of the same. It follows the same kind of logic. How much prices will go up in 2022. The one thing that I wanted to point out about this one just came out a couple hours ago, this morning actually. If you go to this map chart, let me see if I can get Ashley out of the way.
Get me out of the way. I was just looking at this earlier.
So, so the forecast for this article is Phoenix market. See the purple? See the purple right there?
Well, there's purple.
Do you see the purple right there?
And there's like violet. Oh, like your feature one.
I gotta bring. Yeah, it goes back to the wedding on Saturday. So anyway, the purple violet area is ranging between 6 to 8%. You know, people. What the article points out to is, as well as the previous article, people are moving back to the urban areas, and that's where the jobs are. You know, as we get past the sickness, as we get past all the kind of issues we've had the last 2 years, you know, these company owners had put 2, 5, 10-year leases on these properties, and they're going to want their workers to come back. Right now, people are basically being able to choose their work environment, who they're employed with. But eventually, over time, you know, these companies will get tired of like people not applying for jobs, and they'll outsource. They'll outsource to India, they'll outsource to the Philippines, and figure out ways to maneuver around that. And at that point, you know, the housing market, or not the housing, but the unemployment market will be kind of shifting back towards, you know, these areas, you know, where they want workers to come.
And this is, I know we're limited for time, but what's, you know, here we have this area right here, right? What's happening there? Do we even have any understanding?
That's Boise, Idaho, the purple.
So we have Idaho.
That's Utah. It did talk about Utah in here. Let me see.
I'm just curious of why certain areas.
Salt Lake City, 8.5%. I think because of affordability, honestly.
Okay.
There are some, you know, Midwest areas over here, and then some of these areas in the far west, you know, on the West Coast,
right,
that are just a little bit more affordable to go to. Definitely not Seattle, but.
But I would like to do some recon with that little section right there and see why they don't have any colors on them. Are they not colorful?
I don't know. If you have any market research regarding colors, we'll take them as
seriously. Like if
Boise, anybody has a box of crayons, we'll take that too.
I love colors.
But anyway, if you guys have any information or anything you want to share, go ahead and write those in the comment section. We appreciated today's comments. A lot of people chimed in today, which is what we love and appreciate, because we like to answer your questions. We're definitely trying to help you through this whole process. So anything Ashley and I can do, I know she's available as well as I. Any last words today, Miss, before we head up?
No, I agree with what you said. Like, we're just here to give some information and obviously our opinion on what we've experienced, what we've gone through. So if anybody has any questions, like, I feel like they could personally message you or our CEO network or Robert directly or myself directly if you have any, you know, needs. And
we all have needs.
We all have needs. We all have wants and needs. We just have to differentiate the different.
Although my wants and needs have to be put on a crimper on Saturday. So
and
whatever that means.
Getting married.
Anyway, we're heading out. So I appreciate all you guys for joining us. Again, we love the comments. If you have purple hearts, please share them with Ashley because she loves those purples. Anything purple would be wonderful, I think. So until next week. Actually, I think we're taking next week off. Because I'm down. And so we'll be back the following week. It'll be the last weekend of the year. So we're celebrating the year end out that weekend. So we'll catch you guys next week and see you soon.